today's video is going to be a first impressions get ready with me on the last new palette that I'm going to try in the year of 2022, and that is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. Now, I got this with the gift cards that I got for Christmas, so I wanted to treat myself to a new eyeshadow palette. And I have been eyeing this palette ever since it came out. I think that this is such a beautiful color story. And when do we need a reason to try a new Natasha Denona palette? Because I love her formula. So I was kind of torn in between three different palettes, and I kind of asked my beautiful friends that I know on YouTube on which one I should try. I asked in our little group message, and they all said that I should use the My Dream palette or get the My Dream palette. So the other two I was debating on was the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette and the Major Dimension 2 palette from Patrick Ta. And they all cost around $70. Like literally all of them cost $70. Just give me 1 second. But out of the three, I was still wanting to get this one. I haven't tried either of the other formulas. I've never tried Makeup by Mario's eyeshadows, and I've never tried Patrick Ta's eyeshadows. But the only way I was going to get either one of those palettes is if I had gift cards, because again, all of these palettes are all around $70. And that's usually the most that I am willing to spend on eyeshadow palettes. The most like that I'll spend usually is like $65 to $70. And if it's even like a $65 palette, which is usually like a Natasha Denona midi palette, I mean, I'll always get them during like the Sephora VIB sale where I can get 20% off. But let's jump into this bad boy because this is the one I decided to pick up, and this was the one I was eyeing since it came out. So I was like, I'm just going to get it. And honestly, with like neutral palettes, I don't always need to spend like so much money on a neutral palette. I mean, yes, I'm going to use it a lot more than my other palettes, but honestly, I've been kind of getting a lot into color this year. I mean, of course, I'm a neutral gal at heart, but I am actually getting ready to go out to dinner with my boyfriend for our anniversary, and I just really wanted to pick up this palette to use today because I just thought it would be special to use it. So this is the outside packaging, and then this is the inner packaging, and I am not like a huge fan of these like ink blots. I don't mind like the kind of more plasticky hard packaging of this one. I actually like this a lot. I don't think it feels cheap at all. I think it's nice and sturdy. And then same thing with the back. I don't really mind these because I get they're kind of like an ink blot of like her signature that she wrote, because this is like her handwriting. But I just thought this color story was so pretty, and it's just such a beautiful, sultry color story. So this is what the inside looks like. So there is the palette up close. I'll just give you guys a quick close-up, and there are 15 shades in here like all of her other midi palettes, and most of her eyeshadow palettes do have 15 shades. And there are, I believe, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 mattes and 7 shimmers. So I thought that was the perfect ratio of mattes to shimmers for me. So we're just going to jump into this beautiful eyeshadow palette. I literally cannot wait to put it on my eyes. I already primed my eyes with my Anastasia eye primer, and then I just put on my Hot Shot lip oil from ColourPop. I ran out of the clear one, so I've just been using this one. I actually have been using the Lila B one, but that one's kind of getting old, so I'm just using the ColourPop one for now. And then to set my eyes, I just use the Dior Backstage powder. So now let's jump into this beautiful palette. So I really wanted to use some of the like berry tones today because I am dying to jump into the multi-chrome shade as the first shade that I use. I mean, of course, I wanted to use that shade first, and I don't think I've ever tried a multi-chrome from Natasha Denona before. I don't think she's really put any multi-chromes in her palettes besides the I might do my base off camera so I'm not like talking your ear off. Besides like the Trio Chrome palette, which wasn't really a super popular palette. But I'm going to jump into one of the nude shades first. I kind of really want to jump into Carpe Diem. I don't know, I'm just really drawn to that shade. So I'm going to use that as my crease shade. So I actually have not tried a Natasha Denona palette this year. The last time that I actually got a Natasha Denona palette was actually last fall when I got the retro palette, and a lot of people were saying that the two palettes were similar. Oh my god, this is already laying down really nicely. I mean, you can't really beat her formula. Her formula is just beautiful. Her mattes are just as good as her shimmers. Like, her palettes just work, and that's why people love her brand. I wasn't really thrilled about any of the other palettes that came out this year, though. Like, I wasn't really thrilled about the pastel palette or the Retro Glam palette. I much prefer the Retro palette over the Retro Glam. I did a whole video on the Retro palette comparing it to the Retro Glam if you guys want to check that out. But I saw nothing but very high reviews for this palette, and a lot of influencers that I watch, like Morgan Turner and Annette's Makeup Corner and Angelica Nyquist, all said that this was their favorite palette that they tried from Natasha this year. So I was like, I kind of just really want to try it, and I think it's just such a pretty color story. And even though like some of these brands like kind of like go with like their own tastes when it comes to makeup in their line, that they're like, oh, I'm gonna make what I like, I think that this is a color story that a lot of people are going to like, because this is honestly one of my favorite color stories that she's ever done, and I was so inclined to pick it up. So for me to be convinced to pick this up, it means that I really wanted to try it. So I think it's a beautiful palette. So now I'm going to go into this like berry tone called Instinct. We're just going to use that. I really was thinking about using the shade Edgy just to make it really plummy and then deepening it up with the brown. Maybe we'll just do that. I think I'm going to take Edgy instead of Instinct. We're just changing it up already. And I'm just going to use that as my defining shade. I gotta use a bit more. I think this might be one of the cream to powder colors, but I also think it's not gonna be like too overwhelmingly purple because of that formula. And also, I think Natasha Denona has the best cream to powder eyeshadow formula ever. I think that it's absolutely amazing. They blend so beautifully, and they literally like are so smooth and easy to work with, that whenever I hear that there's like a cream to powder shadow in her palette, that's like literally the only brand that I'm not like, I'm not gonna use that. Because like other brands, like the reason why I've been so hesitant to pick up the Patrick Ta palette is because there's two cream shadows in there, and I really feel like I'm just not going to use those. Like for me, I would have preferred that if it was an all powder eyeshadow palette, but you know, I didn't make the palette, and that just inclines me not to pick it up. So I don't know, we'll see in the future, but I don't know if I'm going to try his palettes because again, that's expensive. But also Natasha Denona, you get like 3 more shadows instead of the Patrick Ta where you only get 12. In the Natasha Denona, you get 15. And the Makeup by Mario, you only get 12. So I'd rather pay $69 for this. And you also get a multi-chrome in here. So I actually think that this is a little bit more decently priced and more worth the money because it has more special formulas in it than just like a regular neutral palette. So I think that's why I ended up going with this one. And then for the outer corners, like I said, I want to take that dark brown shade, which is called Aspiration. And I'm going to put that on my outer corners. I know this is going to be a beautiful deep brown. Oh my God, look how sexy that is already. This is like kind of everything that I wanted the... Oh my God, these are such beautiful mattes. I'm already obsessed. This is kind of like everything that I wanted the Anastasia Sultry palette to be. This is kind of like my sultry, sexy evening palette, is what I would say, even though I barely go out. But, you know, when I go out for special occasions like this, I'm going to use this palette. So I just think that this is wonderful so far. And I always know when I pick up a Natasha Denona palette, I am not going to be disappointed. So that's why, like, you know, this is actually my 4th Natasha Denona palette. I've picked up the Retro, the Sunrise, and then the first palette I ever tried from her was the gold palette. And ever since I tried the gold palette, I've just fell in love with her formula. And I really do understand what the hype is about. And I think that more people prefer Natasha Denona's formula over Pat McGrath. Even though I really love Pat McGrath's formula as well, I'm always more inclined to pick up a Natasha Denona palette over Pat McGrath because I just prefer her color stories a lot more. So now I'm just going to put on some glitter primer and then we'll go in with that stunning multi-chrome shade. Okay, so now the moment you've all been waiting for, including myself, I'm going to be using that stunning multi-chrome, which is called Vision, and I'm going to slap that all over my lid. Oh, it's so freaking stunning. When I swatched it, it is so freaking gorgeous. So I really don't own... Oh my God, that is so stunning. Oh, that's super smooth too. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. Wow. I'm already like obsessed. I really don't own too many multi-chromes. Really, the only other multi-chromes I have are from Odin's Eye in like their legendary Diversa palettes, like with Angelica Nyquist and Annette's Makeup Corner, the Fancy Face, and Judy. So I don't really try multi-chromes all that often, but dang, multi-chromes are worth the hype. But that is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, that's so perfect for this look. I'm obsessed. Oh, that's so freaking gorgeous. I love that. And it's so ridiculously smooth and so easy to apply. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. The only thing, though, that I wish that this palette had was a brow bone highlight, because then it would make it like a one-stop shop palette for me. Like, we probably didn't need both of these nude browns in here, but at the same time, like, I find that the retro palette is lacking in like pinkier tones, but also when I use that palette, I don't find I need to use anything else, because it also does have like one of the best brow bone highlights. I think I might just use that in conjunction with this. I'm just gonna grab that shade, duh, because that's literally one of my favorite brow bone highlights. That is so gorgeous. Oh my God. So pretty. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to take the shade MOD from the Retro palette, and I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlight. That's actually it's a really gorgeous brow bone highlight, and I thought it'd just be perfect for this. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I mean, it's just a matte white, but it's just such a good shade. And I think I knew it would work perfectly with this. I love this freaking palette. This is very well used from me. And very well loved. So hopefully I will use the Dream palette as much. But this is the last palette that I was going to get this year. Because I pretty much was on a no-buy all year. But yeah, this palette is very well loved from me. Okay, so now we're just going to do my base. All right, we're just going to do the whole shebang on camera because I feel chatty today. So, sorry, not sorry. So, I just went in with my Do It spray from Fourth Ray Beauty, and now I'm going to prime with my Valentino. What is this called again? Dual Use Liquid Light Face Base and Top Coat. I absolutely love this primer. I am so inclined to pick up a full size of this at some point, but at the same time, like, I'm sure it's going to be like $50, and I'm not one to spend really that much money on primer at all. But I just love the glow that this primer gives your skin. And it's just such a soft glow, but it always makes your skin look like just so beautiful. And I love it. So, okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay, and now let's go in with my foundation. And I'm just going to use my absolute favorite foundation lately, and that is the Haus Labs foundation. I just love it, and I kind of want to use this over like something a little bit more like fuller coverage because it's only for going out to dinner. Like, we're just gonna go back to his house and like chill afterwards, so we're probably only gonna be out for like an hour or something. So, but of course, you know, I still like looking good because that's just how I am. Kind of put a lot on my cheeks, but that's okay. It spreads out beautifully. It just like, this foundation has the most gorgeous finish to it that like literally it makes your skin just glow. And it's not even like if I use the Valentino foundation, there's just something about this foundation that makes your skin look amazing. Like, if you have dry skin, you have to try this foundation. Like, she really knocked it out of the park with this, but I also kind of think it's not that dewy on my skin, but for people that have like combination or oily skin, it's too dewy for them. So I kind of wish that these like celebrity brands would come out with 2 finishes of their foundations. Like, I think I said this before when I was talking about like the other influencers that I watched about this foundation, that they said it just got too dewy on them. They still thought it was beautiful, but it was too dewy. Like, they didn't say it was awful. They just thought that they got greasy too fast. But I said, like, about, like, the Dior foundation, they did that, but also, like, it's Dior. But at the same time, like, there's no way that these celebrity brands can't release 2 different, finishes of their foundations because they're a celebrity brand. They have a ton of money, so. Oh, that is so freaking gorgeous. I love it because it looks so natural still. But it also makes your skin look amazing, but it just has like this natural finish to it that just makes my skin look amazing. And like, do you see like that natural dewy glow where my highlight becomes? It's just so gorgeous. I love it. And then I'm just going to go in with my absolute favorite concealer this year, which is the Tarte Powerflex Concealer. I cannot tell you guys how much I've used this concealer, and I cannot believe I still have so much product in here. Probably because I really don't need that much of it when I use it. I am obsessed with this concealer. It's my absolute favorite. And I finally saw somebody else talk about it, and the Fancy Face mentioned it in her favorites for 2022, and she said that this is a hidden gem at Sephora and you need to try it. And I'm like, yeah. Like, it's phenomenal. Like I've said, the Tarte C line is like my favorite. I'm such a broken record about it, but I just want everybody to try how good this concealer is. I freaking love it, and it just blends out so easily, but it doesn't look like too full coverage, and that's why I love it. And it just blends out amazing. It never looks dry. It never looks too cakey. It never looks like too full coverage. It's perfect. I love it so much. So we're gonna go to one of our favorite restaurants that we haven't been to in a while. I think we've only been there maybe once together, and it's called The Good Life. And they just have this cute, like, old-timey kind of vibe to them, and their food is so good. I mean, it's kind of like traditional American food, but it's so good. It's just like good comfort food, honestly. And they just have such a cool vibe to them. Like, They have like a phone booth entrance and it's just so cool. I love it. So I can't wait. I think they have chicken pot pie there, so I think that's what I'm gonna end up getting. And then maybe I'll just get some type of cocktail. I'm not really sure. That's probably all I'm gonna get. We're probably not gonna get an appetizer. Probably just gonna get 2 meals and like 2 drinks maybe. All right, so I'm just going to blend this out. I'll be right back. I can just blend this out off camera. Okay, so I just went ahead and set my face. I just used the Pat McGrath Labs powder as I usually do on my under eyes, and then I just used my Dior Backstage powder, of course, for my face. And now we're going to go back into the eyeshadow palette, and we're going to do the lower lash line and the inner corners. So for the inner corner, I think I'm going to do this color, Spontaneous. Hold on one second. My sister is texting me. So we're just going to do that. Everybody's texting me today. Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty one. So we're just going to go in with that. It's like this champagne-y gold. And when in doubt, you just go with a champagne-y gold. Sorry. My Siri is picking up my voice right now. Okay. Oh, it's so pretty. Yep, that's gorgeous. You really can't go wrong with her mattes. Her mattes, her shimmers, but also her mattes are phenomenal too, so. The hype is real. Oh, that is such a pretty color. Ooh, yes. I might use this the rest of the week, honestly, because I'm kind of super excited to use every single shade now. And I kind of almost just want to use as many shades as possible before the new year. I have 4 days that I can use it because, well, I might use it the next 3 days or just today and tomorrow. Because I really want to start filming my eyeshadow palette ranking for the year. But I also could do that next, like the first week of January, because, well, actually, I don't know if I'm going to have time in January because I might be going back to school. Bombshell. I know. Let me just do the lower lash line. I kind of am super inclined to go into the burgundy, but I think we're just going to go back into the shade that I used. Do I want to do that or do I want to do Familia? This is a pretty shade. Let's use that one. I did want to use like a warm brown because that's what I usually do. Let's just use that one. Yeah, that's pretty. Sorry, my sister is messaging me about bridesmaids dresses. But yeah, my ex-chairperson from, I'm not going to say his name, from my old college that I went to in 2008, saw my mom in the Apple store, and, because my mom works at Apple, and said that, I should contact him, and he wants to help me get my bachelor's degree in my major at Post. My mom is calling me, so I have to talk to her. Okay, so I went ahead and did my eyeliner and mascara off camera just to save some time. I just used my Makeup by Mario brown liner on my waterline. I think this is the black one, but I don't know where the brown one just went. And then I just primed my eyes with my L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. And then I just went in with my Terra 28 mascara. I love this mascara so much. This is such a good mascara. The hype is real. And then, of course, I just used my Lash Discovery mascara on my bottom lashes. And now I'm going to go into my bronzer. I might have to cut this short because my sister's going to call me in a couple of minutes. I've just been having to talk to everybody today. My mom just called me, and now my sister is going to call me, so... And I have to get out of the house. So for my bronzer, I'm going to use the Dior Tan Bronze. And then if I don't finish everything before my sister calls me, I will just recap everything that I used at the end. It's not like a huge deal. And then for blush... I'm going to try and finish my highlight and blush, though, before she calls me. I did get a new desk lamp, by the way. I keep on forgetting to say that. I'm also obsessed with this palette. I think this look is gorgeous. But I did get a new desk lamp for Christmas, and this light is just so much less harsh than the one that I had. And it's really nice. Like, I can basically, like, look at it even if I shouldn't do that. And it's not going to blind me like the last one did, because that one was just too bright. And it was a pretty old light. So for my blush, y'all know I always have to go into this blush when I go out, or if I go out for like a special occasion, and that is Desert Orchid from Pat McGrath. It's my absolute favorite. It goes with everything, and it's still one of my most used blushes in my entire collection, if not my most used blush. I just love it. It's just my favorite. It goes with every single look. And then for highlighter, I was torn between whether or not I wanted to use Dior or Natasha Denona. But since I'm wearing a Natasha Denona palette, I was thinking about just using the one Natasha Denona highlighter I have. I actually have 3 different highlight formulas from Dior, because I love Dior's highlighters, and they're pretty much the only like bougie highlighters that I have, besides one from Pat McGrath and one from Natasha Denona. I think I'm going to use the Natasha Denona one though, because this one is so freaking gorgeous. This is the Super Glow highlighter in the shade 01 Fair. I wish she came out with more shades of these, because these are so underrated, but they're so beautiful. They have like this intense glow to them without being like glittery, and they're just so pretty. Hopefully that will show up. Yeah, that's beautiful. I might top it off with one of the Dior ones if this isn't enough. That is super duper pretty. All right, so my sister's taking a little bit to call me, so I still have a little bit of time to finish this look. There's just a lot of things happening today. I knew today was going to be a little bit more stressful. But yeah, I did talk to my chairperson, and he's telling me that I pretty much would have to take like a short winter session of like, I think probably 2 weeks or so. Because I'm sure the semester probably starts like the 3rd week of January, and this winter session literally starts like next week, and I'm a little bit nervous about it starting so soon, but I'm probably gonna get less hours at work, because after January it pretty much, you know, goes back to Snailsville. And my sister's calling me, so bye. Okay, so sorry, my sister wanted to talk to me, and I just wanted to update her about what was happening. So now I'm just going to do my lips, and I'm going to use excuse me, let's see, I want to use my Pat McGrath lip liner. Every time I actually want to use it though, I can never find it. It's always when you're filming is when you can never find a dang thing. I think it's this one. No, it's not. That's ColourPop. Try again, Caitlin. I swear I just had this dang lip liner like a couple of days ago. It literally is amazing. Literally every black lip liner I'm picking up is not Pat McGrath. It's a different brand. That's not it either. Alright, you know what? We're just going to go with Minuteman because that's literally my go-to. I don't know where the heck the other one is. And I think this one will work better anyway. I don't know where the heck it is. I have to pee so bad. Sorry. Okay, and then for the lippy, I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani Lip Maestro in the shade 202. My boyfriend got this for me for Christmas, like a few years back. I think it's still good. Yeah, I'm going to use that. And that's it. Oh, it's so pretty still, oh my god. And I still basically finished everything on camera except for my mascara, but I usually do that off camera anyway. Oh, crap. This has such an interesting, like, texture to it. It's like a liquid lipstick, but it's like a way more pigmented, like, liquid lip cream than most of my other, like, liquid lipsticks are. Like, it's not a matte lipstick. It's just so nice. And it's so comfortable on the lips. This thing is old, though. Like, it's definitely a few years old, but somehow it's still good. So I would say it's worth the money because it lasts a long time. Alright, I'm just going to finish it up off camera. Okay, guys, so this is the finished look. Here are the eyes, the cheeks, and the lips. I really love how this look turned out. I knew it was going to be gorgeous. I cannot wait to play with this palette more, and honestly, this is like one of my favorite looks that I've done in like, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing a lot of beautiful looks lately, but this is definitely there's just something about Natasha Denona eyeshadows that are just so gorgeous on the eyes, and I literally love my makeup every single time I use a Natasha Denona palette. There's just, her eyeshadows are phenomenal. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at TBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I hope you guys all have a great day. Bye.